We'll convert this black and white photo into a colored one. First, we need a reference for the skin color. Add a black and white adjustment layer to the reference image. This way, we can easily compare how light or dark is our subject. Don't forget to clip the black and white adjustment layer so that it will only affect the reference photo. Now, let's add brightness and contrast layer on top of our subject to adjust the brightness value. We can merge the brightness value with the subject and delete the black and white adjustment layer. What we will do now is to use the color picker and select the brightest area of the skin of our subject. Then create a solid color layer. Hit OK. Select the mask layer, then click Ctrl-I on the keyboard to invert the mask. Rename the layer Highlight. We will do the same thing, but now we will select on the darkest area of the skin to target the shadow of our subject. Again, we will create a solid color layer. Invert it using Ctrl-I on the keyboard and rename the layer Shadow. Use the color picker again to target the midtones. This is the area of the skin without shadow or highlights or the actual color of the skin. Invert and rename the layer midtones. Now, select the brush. Make sure that the foreground color is completely white. Hit OK, then let us now brush over the area where we need to colorize. Now change the blending mode to color. We're not done yet, so don't worry if it looks off. We're just getting started. Now copy the layer mask by holding the Alt key on the keyboard and drag the mask layer. Let's hide the shadow, midtones, and highlight layer for now. Go to Select and click Color Range. Target the midtones area of the skin and adjust the fuzziness to get a smoother range. Select Quick Mask and make sure to check the invert option. Hit OK. Make the midtones layer visible and select the mask. Click Delete on the keyboard and Ctrl-D to remove selection. Now change the blending mode to color. We will do the same thing on the shadow. Duplicate the mask layer by dragging the mask while holding the Alt key. Again, let's go to Select and Color Range. Target the shadow of our subject. Adjust the fuzziness and of course tick the invert box. Make the shadow layer visible. Click the mask and hit Delete. Ctrl-D to deselect and change blending option to color. Then group this 3-color layer. We will add an adjustment layer, select Color Balance, then use the slider to tweak the color. It will depend on the photo that you are working with, so just play with it. Of course, you can decrease the opacity to blend the color with the black and white subject. Let's add mask layer on the color group layer. Make sure you're selecting the mask. Make the foreground color completely black. Use Brush tool, brush over the area that we need to hide the color. Double-click on the right side of the layer to open the blending option. Check Preview. Now use this slider to gradually blend the shadow of color layer with the black and white subject layer. Click Alt key on your keyboard to split the slider. This makes the transition a lot smoother. We'll do the same thing on the highlights. Slide it to the left to blend the color with the subject layer. Once satisfied with the result, hit OK. We can adjust again the color balance to fine-tune the skin tone. We will now add color to the lips of our subject. Zoom into the reference photo and sample the color. Create a new layer and change the blending mode to color. Let us now brush color to the lips. Add a hue and saturation layers to adjust the color of the lips. Don't forget to clip it. Now let's sample color from the hair of our reference photo. Make a new layer and rename it Hair. Again, select color from the blending option. Then brush over the hair area. Add another hue and saturation to tweak the color of the hair. Click Clip to ensure that it will only affect the hair area. Let's fine-tune the color using the slider. Decrease the opacity of the hair color. We will now colorize the eye of our subject. Create new layer. Use color picker again. Sample color from the eye of the reference photo, then again change the layer. Blending option to color. Brush over the eye area and change the blending mode. Let's hide the reference photo. Now click on the visible second layer and click Ctrl-Alt-Shift-E to merge all. Visible layer. Go to Effects and select Camera Raw Filter. Keep in mind that the adjustment need will depend on the photo we are working on, so just explore this slider to fine-tune your subject. Key pointers: I usually tweak the temperature, exposure, shadow, and clarity on this Camera Raw Filter option. We can also decrease the vibrance to make the color more realistic. Then hit OK. Alright, we're getting closer, but we're not done yet. Let's group these layers first and hide it. Let's zoom in. If you notice, there are subtle color differences on the face of our reference photo. There's a yellowish tint in the forehead, pinkish tint on the cheeks, and strong yellow and tan tint on the neck. We'll add that tint using the same technique we did, adding new layer and changing the blending to color. Let's sample color from the forehead and brush it to our subject. Same with the cheeks. Make sure you're using soft brush with low opacity. And also for the neck area. We'll add some finishing touches until we are satisfied with the result. Here are the subtle color we added to the face. We can add some more adjustment to fine-tune our subject, but I think it is enough for this demo. By the way, if you're using the latest Photoshop version, Photoshop add a new feature called Neural Feature, where you can colorize a photo with just a few clicks. But I think it is still a good thing to know how to do it manually. That is why I made this demo. Anyways, if you think it's helpful, you can like this video and share it to others. Thank you for watching.